Hello everybody, Liz here. If you're new, welcome to my channel. If you're not, welcome back. I'm here to do my October reads, my big ol' wrap up here. So I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 books total this month, so the same as last month. I actually didn't get around to reading any arcs, which I usually try to read about 2 every month if I can, because 1, it's a free book, and 2, it helps authors that might not be so well known put their work out there. But this month I didn't really do any. I started reading 1, but I'll probably finish it this month, and I'll talk to you about it at the end of the month or beginning of December. Other than that, let's jump right into it. The first book I read was Matched by Ali Condi, which is a story about a girl in this society where you're matched into a relationship where that's who you're going to be with for the rest of your life, and it's kind of a revolutionary dystopia novel. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I can see the appeal. I was actually going to unhaul it, and then because I got it probably when I was in high school, close to 7 years ago. I think it was maybe grade 9 or 10, and I hadn't read it, so, and then I was reading the back of it and I was like, oh, maybe I'd like it. So I picked it up and started reading through it. I considered DNFing it about halfway through, but then I was just like, okay, I'll just push on. I gave 3 stars. The second book I read was actually my favorite book of the year, which is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin, I think. Again, I'm awful at names. If you watched any of my videos, you know that. This is about a woman named Lou and a man named, blanking right now, it's Reed. His name's Reed. Lou is a witch on the run from her coven for unknown reasons. You find out later on in the novel. It was a beautiful novel. Not only is there slow burning romance, also hate to love, which I love. There's just so many elements about it. It showcases wonderful female relationships. Reed is honestly such a dreamboat. He's so sweet, and just when you think it's over, bam, there's another thing, and it's so good. It's a really good novel. I suggest it. It takes place in, I'm gonna say 17th, 18th century, probably 18th century Paris. There's lots of religious imagery, and the magic system is insane and so unique. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. It's just so good. I suggest picking it up. I only gave it a 4.5 stars because there were certain parts of the book that was paced very strangely, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. Other than that, honestly, one of my favorite reads for the whole year. I probably will reread it, and it's, again, the first book in a series, so there is a second book coming, and I'm so excited. Next, I had When the Scot Ties the Knot by Tessa Dare. So I picked this book up because I was watching a video and someone explained the plot, and I thought it was hilarious, and I was like, oh my god, okay. So it is about this woman here named Madeline who has crippling social anxiety. So in lieu of going and attending the socialite season, she makes up a Highlander captain that she is betrothed to and writes letters to him for 10 years, convincing her family that she doesn't need to go to be a part of the socialite season because she already has a betrothed. After 10 years, she is on her own, doing her own thing. She made him die. This isn't, I'm not spoiling it, it's all in the thing. She made him die, and he shows up at her door with all these letters and is like, hey, I'm real. So the story is about how they mash together. Again, there's a huge power dynamic between the two, and she's very much like, I want nothing to do with you. And it's really good. Like, it's a really good novel. It had me cackling many times. Worth the read. And this is the first Tessa Dare book I've ever read, and I have to say, pretty steamy. Yeah, 4 stars. Beautiful. 4 stars. The next 3 books I read are the Hunger Games trilogy. So I read this for part of a 24-hour readathon, which is the last video I posted, so I'm not going to go into detail. These have such a special place in my heart. I love them to bits. They will never not be one of my favorite series. I give them all 5 stars because they're great. Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, which is, honestly, it was a lot better than I was expecting. I started reading it because I know everybody talks about how great it is, and I knew she had a new book coming out, so I was thinking, hey, I'm just gonna power through her whole her whole catalog, and I loved it. It wasn't quite a 5-star read for me, but I really did enjoy it. I thought the concept was really cool. I thought the character dynamics were really cool. I thought the characters were really well thought out. I'm absolutely in love with the Darkling. He's pretty awesome in my opinion. I think he's really cool, and yeah, I got Siege and Storm here on my TBR card, so I'm going to be reading that next one. I'm pretty excited to read the second one. This is getting turned into a Netflix series, and I love Netflix shows, so I'm really excited. And also Ben Barnes as the Darkling. So good. I gave it 4 stars. Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3rd novel of the series. It follows Selena as she goes to the other country and chaos ensues. I don't really want to give information about it just in case people are going to read it. I don't want to ruin anything. But just know that this is very good. Again, I liked this more than the first one, and I'm really excited to read Queen of Shadows, which is the 4th one, and that's also on my TBR card for next month. Very good. I think I gave it 4.5 stars, and because there are pacing issues. There's a nice battle scene in this, and I love Sarah J. Maas's battle scenes, so I was pretty pleased with that. And also the magic system is cool, because this is the first time we really get to see the magic, because they're on a different continent than the one that they're on usually. So magic actually works here, and it's very good. Then I read The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This one I didn't like that much, and apparently this series goes downhill from the first one, and I wasn't a huge fan. I gave it 3.5 stars. I think the concept's really cool, where like not all the kids, but most of the kids die. The ones that don't, they have superpowers, and they're kept in camps, and it's kind of about this group of 4 trying to move on in their lives and, you know, become human beings. The main girl, Ruby, she's been in a camp for 6 years, since she was 10. She is what is ranked as an orange, which is one of the most dangerous of the powers, where she can control people's minds. And oranges, as a general rule, are executed, so it's a very, very rare thing. So it's about her being unique and trying to overcome her government that has segregated these children. I don't know if I'm going to continue with the series. If you think I should, leave a comment below and I'll talk about it, because I really don't know if I want to read the series. I watched the movie after I read the book, and the movie wasn't very good either. So I listened to 2 audiobooks as well this month. The first was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, which absolutely devastating. If you have the opportunity to read it, do. It's not very long. The audiobook, amazing. It is about a boy. I cannot remember the name of him for the life of me. I'll probably put it up because I can't remember. It's about a boy dealing with the fact that his mother has late-stage cancer, and a monster appears to him and offers to tell him 3 stories. It is a heart-wrenching piece of literature. Honestly, I cried. I was in hysterics. It was so beautiful. I gave it 5 stars. And then I read The Vampire Academy. Well, I listened to The Vampire Academy by Rachel Mead. Again, I wasn't a huge fan of that. I'm probably gonna read the second one to see if maybe I like it more. But other than that, I don't know. It's about these 2 teenagers. One is a vampire and one is a protector and one is a vampire. They're both part vampire, but one is like vampire royalty, the other one is her protector. It's about them at school. Chaos ensues. I gave it 3 stars. Again, I wasn't really a huge fan of it. The first of the Lux books, Obsidian, I had a hard time getting into it. I didn't like the way that the dialogue was written. Again, I pushed through and I ended up liking it after a while. It is about this girl named, I don't know if it's Katie or Catty, because people call her Kat, and it's spelled Katy, but the only other person I know that has their name spelled like that is Katie. I wasn't sure. I called her both in my head, but it's about this girl. We're gonna call her Katie for my own mental health. She moves into a small town where she meets her 2 neighbors who are twins named Dee and Damond, and they are not what they seem. So it is a love story from what I took in from it. It was interesting. I'm gonna read the rest. We'll see if I like it more after that. But I gave it a 4 star just because it really did pique my interest. I haven't really ever read anything like that. And then I was a big pile of garbage and I reread these 2 books here. I read them like 3 months ago for the first time. Actually, 4 star, 4.5 star. I loved them. Farah and Rhysand will always be my favorite. I feel like you either love them or hate them though. I love them, so they're good with me. I wouldn't say DNF. There's 3 books that I decided that I'm gonna push and read another time just because for the life of me, I just couldn't get into them. The first being The Diviners by Libba Bray. So I think I'm really gonna love that book, but the copy I got, the formatting was just so weird. I'm going to wait and I'm going to listen to it on audio and hopefully I'll be able to get into it more. DNF'd Gone by Michael Grant. I got about 200 pages into it and I was really dragging along and I didn't really want to focus all my attention on getting through that one book when there were a bunch of other books that I also really wanted to read. So I'm putting that off until I can pick it up and really focus on it. And the third was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. So I read again the first 150, 200 words. Well, I listened to it and I couldn't get into it. I think I need to like read it physically. So I'm going to go and buy it and then read it. So those were all the books I read this month. Next month, hopefully I'll be able to read a bit more, and I'm hoping to read more arcs. I have 2 set up that I want to read, and then I got sent one is the sequel to Wicked Saints, and I haven't read Wicked Saints, so I'm probably gonna go pick that up and read that so that I can read the arc. Other than that, I'm gonna try and get as much reading done as I can. I think I'm gonna read a lot of romance next month because it's starting to get all cold and cozy, so I think I'm gonna be more in a romance mood. Next week I'm gonna be posting my TBR video and also a Fairy Loot unboxing. Follow me on Instagram. My handle will be below. It's at Liz Booknook. I will be also doing a rundown of all of the books I read, mini reviews, and ratings on there. So it'll be a little more in-depth than this. If you like this video, feel free to check out other ones. Like, comment if you want, subscribe if you enjoy my content, all that fun stuff. Until next time.